look at what it... You put like a bulkhead in a screen or something. Today we are installing something that is going to export nutrients from this tank, which is going to allow me to not do water changes as often, maybe. What's going on, everyone? This is Paul. Thanks for stopping by. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. Let's jump into this video. It is about this Rain 2 algae scrubber. It is time for an update on how it's been doing. Go ahead and type in algae filter in the comments down below and I will heart your comment. Before we get into that though, if you look right over here, the analytics show that the majority of the viewers are not subscribed. If you like this type of content, if you like fish, you like aquariums, you like all that good stuff, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It's free. And there is a lot more content on the channel. It's been a few weeks since we got the scrubber, the Rain 2 scrubber from Santa Monica Filtration set up on the tank. So what we're gonna do now is take a look at what it has grown for us. Look at that. Look at that growth on the Rain 2 screen. So this is this side, and then we got that side right there. As you can see, this back side is a lot less and it's lighter. This side is a lot more and it's darker. Actually, we need to get that piece out of here. Just broke off. Put that there. So yeah, so what I did was I had on the hood here, I had the light facing this way, and this is why this side grew so well. Only kept one light on right now while it is seeding, and you can see some of this stuff in the back grew, but all of this here, that's all new growth because I switched the light to go ahead and start getting some good lighting on the back side of this screen. So what we got to do now is actually scrape this off so that it can continue to go, because as you look at this, I mean, it is crazy amount of algae that grew on the screen. So let's go ahead and get that thing scrubbed off. All right, so first things first, I'm gonna go pull this cap off and then slide the screen out. I'm just going to leave it running because I don't want to retune it because it's tuned nicely. Let's just put this back on so it doesn't splash everywhere. What you can use to scrape this off is like a credit card. What I'm going to use is just a scrap piece of acrylic that I had laying around. But let's go ahead and take a good look at this. So you can see, again, this is really light and you can see, well, let's get some of that water out. It's growing really well on this back side. And some of this is filled in up over here. Now on the front side, again, you can see, yeah, it's filling in pretty good. I mean, this is insanely crazy. That's crazy, crazy, crazy growth. This is the first time doing this, so let's go ahead and scrape it. I'm just gonna, again, use this piece of acrylic because it's virtually the same thing as like a credit card. It's just plastic, right? Look at that. Jeez. So I'm just going to go and clean a little bit more off of the edges. I mean, obviously you want this to stay full of algae in all of the little squares because it stays seated so that the algae will grow over the top nice and quick. But there is the cleaned sheet. I would say that's probably good enough. It's as much as I'm going to be able to get off. And then this goes back on the scrubber. Look at this though. Look at all this algae that was scrubbing the tank and exporting the nutrients in the aquarium. I mean, this is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. And it's all in a confined area, which is even better. Okay, I'm gonna lift that lid off. Got the screen. Gonna go ahead and put that back on here like this. Perfect. Get our little cap that goes here like that. So there it is, nice and cleaned off, as you can see. Now again, I do want to make sure that this does seat a little bit better on this back side again, because there was no direct light on that part to start, but I think it is doing fantastic for where it's at. And again, look at this. I mean, this is probably the size of, of a hamburger patty. But yeah, so I'm gonna figure out what to do with the lights now. What I'm going to do is just leave the one light on right now that's on the back side, for the side that wasn't seated as well, for a couple of days, see how this front side grows as well as how that back side grows before I add the next light. So there's two lights going. Now one thing I'm going to want to do is customize it a little bit, because you can see some algae that fell into this chamber here just because it grew long, went down that little hole there. So I got to find out, maybe put like a bulkhead and a screen or something so that it will eliminate the algae from getting down here once it gets long. But look at that, guys, look at that. What we're gonna do in a little bit is test the water in the tank to see how things are holding up. But before that, gotta show you guys something super cool that I had to do out on the property this week. Let's do it. Check this out, everybody. So we got all of this scrap wood over here from doing some work on a deck at a house. And to get rid of this at a dump or anything is gonna cost a lot of money. So we are gonna burn it. First things first, we're gonna open up the gas. Slightly open this. All right, so here we go. Yeah, we used to have some really big burn piles back in the day. It was pretty sweet. But I'm gonna walk back into the field. Let's go check it out. Looks like it's already starting to lean. But so I got a couple pieces of dry firewood here, and I put some in over there, and some on that side there, so that it catches it, because this is really wet lumber. This is so awesome. So check it out. We added those pieces right there, the dry firewood, again because all of this is so wet from being out in the elements of the rain. So we need to get a nice hot base down here so that it can catch all of the wet lumber on fire. You can see we're starting to get some, the wind is picking up right now. Like, you can look at the trees. See, yeah, you can see them moving, right? So now we're really starting to get some good action here. See that going over there? Done this for years and years. See that? Been having burn piles like this from cutting all of the trees and everything on the property for years and years. So yeah, but look at that. We're gonna get this all burned down. So we're sitting here chilling, keeping an eye on it just in case. So all of that I will be piling on top of the pile once that gets burned a little bit more. And in case of an emergency, down over there by the barn, there is a water hose right there. So here we go. You can see just how much of it burned down. Got all of this stuff burnt. So now it's just, you know, getting down to the last bits. I'm grabbing some random stuff that's laying around from, you know, you can see all these tree clippings and things like that. And then this coal pile here will basically burn down to nothing. Burning some more stuff from my brother's house. Boom. Check it out so you can see where all that white outline is. That's where the fire was, and it obviously is burning in. But yeah, we're getting close to this thing being done and basically burning itself out. Here is the test for the phosphorus. So what I got to do is just go to a conversion chart on Hannah's PDF to get what this is in phosphate. I did the phosphate checker before and it just never seemed to give me readings accurately, in my opinion. Maybe I was doing something wrong, but anyway, I did the diluted solution on here. So whatever the number is, we got to multiply it by 10. So 2.23, so the nitrate in the tank is 22.3. So when I did some water testing before we got the scrubber installed over here, my phosphates were around 0.04 something, and that's pretty good considering it's been a month and a half of running and the phosphates really stayed right about the same. That's pretty awesome. The nitrates did go up some. I think they were in like 12 or 11 ppm on the nitrates. So the nitrates did go up some. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. So I think that the algae scrubber is working pretty good considering that it was only one light that we're using on it at this time, so it's not even close to its full potential. But the fact that the phosphates stayed about the same is pretty impressive. The nitrates did go up, I know, with more light and things like that, and removing the algae and all that stuff like that, we're going to be able to remove some of those nitrates as well. Again, this is all going to be about testing and knowing how long to run the lights and how often to pull the algae off and all that kind of stuff like that. So it's going to be a testing game to see what I got to do to really limit those water changes. Obviously, still got to do water changes to replenish certain things in the system, but this is going to really make a huge difference for stability in the aquarium. So yeah, so now that this is at a good point, I think what I'm going to do now is turn on the next light so both sides are getting that light to grow the algae. Then what we'll do is in a week, we'll test the water again to see how a week goes of 2 lights running at the same amount of time. Maybe I will crank the actual run time down because I'm adding another light, or I'll add just a smidge more food because I don't want it to strip all of the phosphates and nitrates out of the tank, because then I'm gonna have algae issues that I don't want, nuisance algae. So anyway, I think it's doing a great job so far. So if you guys like this video, please consider hitting the sub button and the notification bell. Please comment down below what you guys think and all that other good stuff. Thanks again for watching. Again, if this is your first time here, thank you for stopping by. Stay tanked.